Only 31.6% of you guys actually read quest text. Most of the time, you're not missing out on much.
No,
but
you're not.
Sometimes the quest text gives a lot of context to places you've been.
Okay.
All over the lands of Kalimdor, there are zones with unique stories told through quest text or some other outside source.
That's good.
After this video, you'll be playing with your friends and you'll be like, did you know this was the spot where Thrall and Malfurion got in a knife fight over claiming the lands of Ashenvale?
Did that
Your
happen?
friend will be all like, yeah, no, that's
because
cool,
it could have.
but
I mean, it absolutely could
please
have happened.
help. There's 3 rogues on me. Please,
Yeah.
please. So get your disposable camera ready. Apply the
turn it up a little bit.
sunscreen. Get those Hawaiian t-shirts
There you go.
on because we're going on a Kalimdor lore safari.
Okay.
Azshara is known for being a barren wasteland when it comes to actually doing quests, but
Yeah, it
these
sucked.
peaceful yet haunted lands still have some stories to tell.
Okay.
In the southern part of the zone, you can find a lot of these crystals. What are these
Oh,
crystals?
yeah.
Well, they're
They're a
called
quest item.
azurite. No, not azurite,
Okay,
the crystals
good.
we find in BFA.
I was worried there for a second.
Azurite. But what is similar about these two things is that they're both shit. But azurite is literal. Azurite is mountain giant poop. And mountain giant poop is an amazing material to craft weapons and armor, especially weapons and armor that contain energy, because azurite is great at focusing large amounts of...
Wait, that's the Warrior Tier 11 set. That's one of my favorite sets. It's the Earth. It's not Shungite. That's different.
power. My first reaction when finding out this information is,
What
wow,
the
why is there so much in-depth lore about
one
mountain
of my
giant poop
favorite
in the Warcraft
sets.
universe? Turns out a lot of this information comes from quests in Cataclysm because the goblins inhabited much of
So we were
Azshara
collecting
to
shit
harvest
for
this
years.
excrement. Azshara is in the northern reaches
We didn't
of
even know
Kalimdor,
that.
so that means that there's an abundance of Night Elf ruins.
Oh
The
my
ruins in
God.
Azshara are the remains of a city called Eldareth. Long ago, the magically gifted highborn elves
Typical
inhabited the
fucking
city.
WoW, yeah.
And get this, there's a comic called The Pearl of Pandaria that was
Yeah.
released before the Mists of Pandaria ever came out.
Oh,
I didn't
really?
even know this comic existed.
What
But
the
it talks
fuck?
about how the Pandaren had contact with the highborn thousands and thousands of years ago.
Really?
Back then, the
never even heard of
Pandaren
this.
observed the highborn's culture, seeing that magic was the crux
Holy
of their
shit.
society. The Pandas thought this wasn't the wisest move, and as a parting gift, they gave the elves of Eldareth an ornate box
Mm-hmm.
that was told to have all the magic that they'd ever need.
That's a lot of
The
magic.
titillated and magic-addicted elves
Okay.
opened the box with bated breath to see
Ooh,
the
Legend is...
box was empty. Okay, so I understand the pandas were trying to be like these wise grandmasters
They're so
teaching the
stupid,
elves
man.
a valuable lesson. But here's the thing. Highborn need magic to survive. Without it, they just wither away and die. This is like having
Yeah.
a person starving on an island and you float down and give them a bag of McDonald's and they open it and there's nothing inside and you go, ha ha ha, just don't eat. You're welcome, and then you just float away.
Pandas are so stupid.
That you're fine when you're not really fine.
Yeah, they're just
In
so
Eldareth,
stupid.
there was also an ancient artifact called the Crystal of Zin Malor,
Okay.
a relic that could harness strong arcane energy for those that could truly wield its power.
Alright.
The power-hungry Highborn yoinked the crystal and went over to Winterspring.
Right.
In Winterspring, we can find even more Highborn ruins that are still haunted by its inhabitants. A lot
Yeah,
of the
there's
Highborn
ghosts.
society was utterly destroyed during the Sundering, a
Ooh.
massive explosion that
The Wall
split
of
the world
Eternity.
apart and was mainly caused by, well, the Highborn.
Yeah,
And speaking of
Azshara.
Highborn being stupid, through a druid called Kellic Skykeeper, we find out that generations and generations of elves have died trying to harness the power of the Crystal of Zin Malor.
What a bunch of
And they
idiots.
just kept killing themselves out of greed. The relic
Damn.
was ultimately taken to Darnassus and locked up so no
Fucking
greedy idiots
morons.
could ever kill themselves again.
That's smart.
In this snowy zone, there is also a cave called
Jesus.
Mazthril. What's interesting about this cave is that in Classic, it was taken over by a bunch of blue dragons.
yeah,
but in
this is where you get the,
Cataclysm,
item.
It was taken over by a dude named Umbrance the Spirit Breaker. If you've ever done the Sunken Temple
Okay.
before, you've gotten the quest item Essence of Aranicus
This
off of
tree
the
can
last
suck,
boss.
dude.
The quest that item starts ultimately takes you to
That item is
Umbrance, and
so
in
bad.
Cataclysm, it's revealed that he's actually been absorbing dragon essences for his own personal gain, like he's the goddamn Dragonborn.
What
I bring
the
this up
fuck?
because I find it hilarious that players in the Sunken Temple not only help accidentally summon Hakar,
Oops.
but they also help some random
Oops.
power-hungry dragon sucker as well. So in Cataclysm,
This guy's awesome.
we give him a taste of his own medicine.
That's pretty accurate, actually, now that you have the scaling for BFA. I mean, one punch, he's pretty much dead. I know this guy. Like, he's not even elite. Like, one thing I don't like is the fact that, like, these really important quest guys aren't elite. Like, they should be elite. It should be hard to kill them, bro. Like, the second arrow to the knee. Yeah. Real fucking clever. Oh, shit.
Felwood is easily the most dangerous and haunted zone within all of Kalimdor.
Yeah, there's
During
sword
the
everywhere.
Third War, demons invaded Azeroth
That's a
with their
badass
main
picture.
goal to destroy Mount Hyjal. In order to weaken the elven defenses and gain a foothold in Azeroth, the Dreadlord Tichondrius used the
I hate
Skull
him.
of Gul'dan to corrupt all of Northern Ashenvale, aka
Wait,
Felwood.
what? Really?
By the power of Sargeras, I, Tichondrius, will claim these lands in the name of the Burning League.
Shut up, bitch!
Oh, shit.
Illidan was not a fan of this and
There
traveled to
he
the
is.
corrupted woods to stop its spread and save
Yep.
his people. And well, the Skull of Gul'dan was pretty powerful, so if he could get his hands on that, that would
Yeah.
be great. Illidan
Well, he did.
defeated Tichondrius with a powerful rock bottom, even though he just saved not only his people, but all of Kalimdor from a serious threat. Malfurion, his brother, still banished him from their society.
That was so dumb, dude. Whenever this happened in Warcraft 3, I was like, bruh, did you even play the same quest as me? How the fuck are you gonna think that? It's like, Illidan's been cucked for his whole life. It's like Cenarius thought Malfurion was a better druid. Tyrande was fucking, she liked Malfurion better than him. And then he's like, alright, you know what? It's time to really just fucking, cucked for 10,000 years. Alright, let's show him where I'm at. And then he beats the shit out of a Dreadlord, saves his race and Kalimdor, and his brother's like, bruh, but you did it wrong. You know? I mean, Illidan, like, this guy, of course he's fucking mad.
For using demonic power, and Illidan left to go search for even more power.
Shut
Yep.
your mouth and look at the rock. Read the rock's lips. Jabroni. Jabroni. ABC. Oh, it doesn't matter how you spell jabroni.
This is where we're at in Classic. Even if the corruption
So
was
fucking
stopped,
dumb, dude.
there was still a demonic scar placed on Kalimdor.
Yeah?
And surely the warlocks and the demons residing within the zone are trying to spread their influence.
Of course.
A demonic hotspot is the ancient night elven burrows
Oh.
of Jadenar,
With the Dreadlord
named
in the
after their
bottom.
daddy, Kil'jaeden. It was
Yeah.
here where we can find the remnants of the Shadow Council.
Right.
Nearby, there are multiple outcroppings where satyrs reside.
I remember
Satyrs
this.
used to be night
This
elves
place was
that have
awesome.
succumbed to, well, the ancient satyr curse. The curse originated from a highborn named Xavius, who was twisted into the first
Who's
satyr
that?
after failing to do Sargeras' bidding.
Fucking
Xavius then
idiot.
spread his affliction to a bunch
Stupid
of night
fucking
elves.
idiot.
Within Felwood, there is a constant struggle between the corruption that dwells within it and the Emerald Circle, a subsect of the Cenarian Circle, whose main focus is purifying all of Felwood.
You know, if they really wanted to get rid of that whole corruption thing, they probably should have given me more than 5 quests.
And in Kata, we can see that they are somewhat successful and created the
Yeah.
Whisperwind Grove.
Yeah, they did
But
better.
the conflict between the two forces is still prevalent today.
And all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal
demonic
growth. How dare you!
Now, despite Illidan and the Night Elves' efforts to stop the Legion, Mount Hyjal was ultimately damaged when Malfurion blew a horn and wisps engulfed Archimonde
Yeah,
and he exploded.
that was badass.
And the whole event damaged the tree, meaning that immortality of the Night Elves was no more. This whole
Wait,
event
what?
made Malfurion very, very sleepy, and he took a very long nap. While
Oops.
Malfurion was in his coma,
Yeah.
Fandral Staghelm took his place as
This
the leader
asshole.
of the Druids.
This
His
guy's a
first
dick.
action as leader was to make a new world tree with
Ooh.
blackjack and hookers.
That's
At
smart.
the Circle of Ancients in Darkshore, a new tree called Teldrassil, aka Crown of the Earth,
Mm-hmm.
was formed. Unfortunately, this world tree would not grant the elves immortality again because Nozdormu was the one to bless Hyjal, but he refused to bless Teldrassil
Why
because I don't know, he's a big jerk. The Night Elves
What an asshole. What an asshole. Why the hell would he not do that? Like, it's not a big deal to him. Because of reasons? He knows the future? Yeah, right. That's just what they tell you, man.
would enjoy their cool treehouse for a while,
knew it
but
would
it
burn.
didn't take long
Oh.
to notice that something was up.
Okay,
The tree became plagued with some sinister presence.
Yeah.
Local wildlife, like the furbolgs and the grell, became mad. Satyrs started appearing, and the beaches of Darkshore were covered with sea creatures.
Yeah, that's
trying
not
to
good at
escape
all.
some dark presence coming from the ocean.
Uh-huh.
The source of this corruption would not be revealed until Wrath of the Lich King in the book
Mm-hmm.
Stormrage. In the book, Malfurion wakes up from his nap in
Oh,
Emerald
shit.
Dream
Finally.
and discovers the source of the corruption was Fandral.
That son of a bitch!
Now, the explanation I'm going to share with you right now is 100% real, and it is not made up in any way, and this is how the
See, that means you know it's about to be fucking stupid.
actual lore happened. Back during the War of the Ancients, so thousands and thousands of years
Yeah.
ago, Malfurion fought Xavius, that guy that turned people into satyrs.
Yeah.
And Malfurion defeated him by turning him into a tree, and he threw him into the ocean. During the scuffle, Tyrande was kidnapped by satyrs.
Of course.
And this made Malfurion
Smart.
very,
Very
very
smart.
sad. It made him so sad that he almost drowned a whole Night Elven army in a storm caused by his sadness. Again, no, not making this up. Meanwhile,
Hey,
Tree Xavius
almost.
was floating around in the ocean, and it's presumed that there was some sort of old god influence to save his life, kind of like Queen Ajara. Tree Xavius was said to be washed up on Ajara, but disappeared sometime after.
Yeah.
We don't really know what happened to him, but that's not the point. The point
No.
is Xavius was able to transcend between the real world and the Emerald Dream, and was able to contact Fandral Staghelm. But
What
the thing
the
is,
fuck?
he contacted him as Fandral's own son, Valston Staghelm. You
Oh,
see,
shit.
Fandral was really, really guilty after losing his son in the War of the Shifting Sands.
Oh, I
have-
remember
I have a
that.
whole video about that, so you
Yeah.
can watch it if you'd like. The point is, Fandral would stop at nothing to get him back, and Xavius used this to his advantage and convinced Fandral to fuse a corrupted branch onto Teldrassil when it was being formed.
Man, like, who would think that's a good idea? Like, you got all the other green branches, and he gives you a red branch. Like, you can just pretty much fucking bet that you're not supposed to do that. Like, no wonder the dragon didn't bless it. Like, why didn't Nozdormu come and be like, hey, trust me, man, don't do that. Like,
So
what
when
the
the
fuck?
snaring circle fed powers into the tree, they'd be feeding the corruption as well.
Oh my
Xavius
God.
also convinced Fandral to use a herb called Morograin to keep Malfurion unconscious.
Wait, didn't we
and
turn
stuck
that
in
into
the
him?
Emerald Dream, where Xavius could torture him mentally and physically, like turning him into a tree and forcing him to watch his brother make out with his girlfriend, Tyrande. Eventually, Malfurion defeated Xavius in the dream and woke up and brought the truth to not only the Night Elven people, but Fandral himself.
What the
His grand
fuck?
illusions of his son was shattered when he got to see him die again right in front of him.
Jesus.
This broke the former Archdruid, and he fell
Yeah.
into utter madness and was locked inside the prison under Hyjal so that he may recover from this catastrophic destruction of his very existence, where he would continue to contemplate what exactly was real and suffer with the guilt of his dead son.
Holy
Meanwhile,
shit.
Malfurion and Tyrande had a lovely, lovely
Oh.
wedding, and Alexstrasza and Ysera showed up to bless the tree so nothing evil would happen to it ever again.
Thank God that happened.
Well, maybe that's a story for another time.
Well, no, the aspects lost their power, so it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay. Shit, dude. Dead bitch? Yeah, I know, man. I think the dude has turned to his son to avoid jail time. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I knew at least, I knew the Fandral Staghelm part. I didn't know about turning, like, this one was a bit of a surprise. Like, I did not expect,
turning him into...
I did not expect this, turn Xavius into a tree. Because in my understanding, like, I thought Xavius was like way more powerful than Malfurion. So I thought Xavius would have won 100%, dude. But you know, it is what it is. From the book, yeah. Who the fuck wrote that book? I don't know. Regardless, let me go down over here and see where the rest of these are. Yeah, it's like Illidan, dude. Illidan beat the fuck out of Tichondrius. It's like, what the fuck, man?